Hello, welcome. It's chilly for this early in September, isn't it? As soon as the rest of our group arrives, we'll be heading inside. I apologize, I know the group tour is unusual, but the owner, Mr. Holmes, is eager to sell. I'll tell you a little bit about the building while we wait. The property was constructed in 1887. The third floor was actually an extension to the original structure. It was added in 1892, 1893. Locals affectionately refer to the building as the Castle because the building takes up nearly a full city block. The address is 611 West 63rd Street, Chicago, Illinois 60621. If you're interested in buying, the property is about a 3 miles walk west from where they held the World Fair last year. I visited the fair 4 times, even saw those hula dancers from the Hawaiian Isle. Quite the spectacle. Now the castle is 3 stories tall. Not aware of the exact footage, but the castle is 162 feet long and 50 feet wide. The ground floor is slated for business. Currently there's a drugstore, a barbershop, a candy store, a restaurant, a tinsmith, and a jewelry store. Potential to bring in a lot of customers to the area. The other 2 floors are mainly living space. Note the brick facade, decorative battlements. I believe the iron used is from a local company, Etna Iron and Steel. The wooden bay windows are quite lovely. Right now, the bay windows are covered with sheet iron. I've heard Mr. Holmes is a very private man. However, you could easily rip them out and have sunlight-drenched window seating overlooking the street. Wouldn't that be cozy? It's said the roof used to have a turret. Perhaps Mr. Holmes fancied himself a chivalrous knight of old. Last summer, the 3rd floor caught fire. No, I don't know how it started, but they put it out before it spread. Mr. Holmes rebuilt, but created a flat roof. It's a shame. I believe he's still fighting with the insurance company. They're trying to claim fraud. Companies these days, huh? No, I've never met Mr. Holmes. My real estate company was hired. Great! It looks like everyone has arrived. Ladies and gentlemen, right this way. It's nice and toasty inside. This is the reception area. As I was saying, Mr. Holmes is a prominent doctor. He's been called out of town on urgent business, I think to Fort Worth or was it Boston? Anyway, you'll find that the castle is competitively priced to sell. All reasonable offers will be considered. Step this way, please, to the waiting room. Some rooms have already been emptied in anticipation of the sale. This castle is considered a bit of a fixer-upper, but the foundation is sound. Both the foundation and the basement are made out of stone. I'm told the basement is larger than the castle itself and extends under the sidewalks. A bonus 4th floor for the price of 3. More on the basement when we visit it. In general, the property might need some work because Mr. Holmes, he had some odd decorating tastes. In fact, he was very exacting and switched construction companies several times during building. He had a certain vision that he was intent on achieving, which admittedly many people found off-putting. So as we walk through the castle, you should picture how it could look rather than how it looks now. All right, come, let's go into the hallway and we'll take the stairs up to the 3rd floor. Sir, don't lag behind, please. We don't want you to get lost. Yes, you could totally get lost. The 2nd floor has close to 40 rooms, and some of them are quite unusual. We're starting at the top floor, though. We'll see the rest of the 2nd floor next. Mind the 3rd step on the stairs. It has a pressure plate. It's wired somehow. It's electric, I think. Throughout the house and in the drugstore, there's a system of alarms which ring a buzzer in Mr. Holmes' personal rooms. Quite ingenious, really. Makes it hard for guests to sneak out without paying. This is Mr. Holmes' personal office. Yes, the sheeting could come off that window too, and since it's in the northeast corner of the building, you'd get some nice morning sunlight. Please don't touch the items on the desk. Once the place sells, he'll be sending for the rest of his belongings. No, I don't think that skull is real, it's just a paperweight. In addition to being a businessman, Mr. Holmes is a doctor, so I suppose doctors have a rather morbid sense of humor. Oh, those switches on the wall? Those are another modern innovation by the owner. They control the heat, the gas, and the electricity for some of the guest rooms on the 2nd floor. With a flick of his finger, Mr. Holmes could override the settings in individual guest rooms, giving or depriving them of heat and light. It sounds a bit stingy to me, but I guess it's a last resort when dealing with ill-tempered guests. Now, as you can see, also on the top floor are several empty guest rooms. Some are set up as apartments, lots of space, but plenty of privacy, perfect if you want to live with extended family. You could live up here and continue to rent out the rooms on the 2nd floor. Now this room is actually a large steel vault and you can walk right into it. No, don't close the door though, you'll suffocate. I don't have keys to open the lock. The walls are completely made out of steel lined with asbestos. It's soundproof and airtight. And no, I don't know what was kept in here. Maybe the valuables of guests and other items. It's been well used though, lots of scuff marks on the walls, but they should buff out no problem. One of the other amenities of the top floor is this dumbwaiter. It goes straight to the basement. No, it doesn't stop on the second floor. It's big enough that a man could ride down it though. Maybe for escape in case of fire? Now that we've seen the third floor, let's go back down to the second. Come on, follow me down the hallway. As you can see, this room doesn't have any windows, but the right lamps will totally cheer it up. This room is actually quite spacious once you get inside. It has just an unusually small doorway. Next to the bathroom is a room called the 5-door room because, well, you guessed it, it has 5 doors. I suppose you could keep some of the doors locked for privacy. Yes, that's a tight little space. I'm not sure what was stored there. Maybe laundry? The chute in the bathroom, it goes to a mini room in between the floors, and in that room is a chute to the basement. No, your eyes don't deceive you. There should be another room in this space, but there's no door. Mr. Holmes is storing a lot of valuable furniture. I heard it was purchased from somewhere fancy like the Toby Furniture Company. He doesn't want it to get messed up, so he walled that room shut for safety. So we're in the middle of the castle. Lots of small, dark rooms here, quite cozy, especially if you brighten them up with a little light-colored paint. Maybe a sunny yellow or an ivory. Some of these rooms are really tiny though, hardly space enough for a person to lie down in. I think they're supposed to be extra storage. Mind where you walk though, there's a trap door to a steep staircase which leads to the basement in one of these rooms. I'm not exactly sure where. Yes, I agree, the place is kind of like a maze. There's a door or two that will open to brick walls. I think Mr. Holmes changed his mind during the building process, and that was an easy way to fix mistakes. The design on the gas fixtures in this bedroom is quite unusual. Of course, the valves have a way to be turned off, but no, unfortunately, I don't know how they work. No, I'm not sure where they were purchased either. Yeah, some of the rooms are metal plated. It's to help retain in heat during the winter. This laboratory is tiny but fully functioning. I suspect Mr. Holmes compounds the more expensive and complicated drugs in here rather than in the back room of the drugstore. I think he had a problem with competitors trying to steal his formulas. He created this great tonic for hangovers. I've used it myself. Nasty and hard to swallow, but it works marvelously. Now, those stairs go outside down to the alley behind the castle. These bolts on the wall are odd. No, I don't know what they're actually used for. Yeah, I guess you could attach chains or handcuffs to them. So that's actually the extent of the notes I have on the second floor. You can wander through those back rooms freely, but be careful, don't close any doors. Some of the doors can only be opened from the outside. Much of the second floor is also soundproofed for guest comfort and privacy, of course. Alright, so let's meet at this staircase in a few minutes so we can go down to the basement. You can only use these stairs to get to the basement. Don't use the other staircase, that leads to a dead end, another construction error, I'm afraid. Alright, is everyone here? Great. Sir, if you could take this lantern and I'll carry one too. Even with the lamps lit, it's quite dark down here. Carefully, on the stairs, they're steep. Ladies, be sure to watch the hems of your skirts, the basement floor is very dirty. Yes, it does stink down here. Miss, please don't wander away. There are 2 large quicklime pits that are used for getting rid of animal remains, and you would not want to fall into one. I do apologize for the stench. Mr. Holmes occasionally taught a dissection class in his basement where medical students practice on animal remains. He was experimenting to find new techniques for butchering and storing meat too. I'm sure you can get rid of the dissection table and all the medical instruments. That is, if Mr. Holmes no longer wants them. Clear the space, give it a good airing out, sprinkle some lavender oil and burn some aromatic wood. That should fix the smell. Oh, the gas tank in the corner? I was told it was for bending glass. Mr. Holmes also owns a glass bending factory on the north side. He tends to send boxes and trunks over to the factory from here. Very particular man, very private. Didn't like people touching his stuff. He was always worried that someone was out to learn his secrets or steal his creations. Sir, I'm going to have to ask you not to open the jars and sniff the powder inside. Remember, Mr. Holmes has a drugstore. Many of his medicines and compounding agents are kept down here. You wouldn't want to accidentally poison yourself, would you? The stove was used for heating medicines and tonics, I believe. The crematorium? Probably for burning trash, disposing of old medicine. I don't think it was used for people. Why would it? I don't know what to say. That's a really disturbing suggestion. Alright, this concludes the tour of the castle. If you would, follow me back to the reception room. You can contact me on the address on my card if you're interested in making an offer. No, sorry, no time for any more questions. I have another appointment. I really must be going. With insurance companies trying to prosecute him for arson, H.H. Holmes fled Chicago in July of 1894, heading to Fort Worth, Texas. Several months previously, he and a business/fraud partner, Benjamin F. Pitzel, had begun building another castle there, even larger than the one in Chicago. However, locals were suspicious and creditors started breathing down his neck, so Holmes left Fort Worth and the new castle abandoned and unfinished. While there's no proof that Holmes tried to sell the Chicago castle, as always he was eager to make money, so it's not entirely outside of the realm of possibility. Within a few months of leaving Fort Worth, Holmes was arrested in Boston for the murder of Pitzel, whom he had killed during an insurance fraud scheme. In the summer of 1895, as Holmes sat in jail, Chicago police investigated Holmes's unusual building. The castle was found to contain oddly angled hallways, dead ends, and small soundproof airtight windowless rooms designed for suffocation. The police also found bones, although they were mainly animal, scraps of women's clothing, a blood-splattered dissection table, and other suspect items. However, there wasn't enough evidence to charge Holmes with any other murders. It's hard to know exactly what happened at the castle. No known pictures of the interior exists, although some architecture plans and newspaper sketches have survived. Many of the lurid details about the place and the evidence found there was made up or enhanced by the newspapers of the time. The public was endlessly fascinated by this charming yet diabolical man and lapped up any information they could get, no matter how questionable. By the time Holmes's trial got underway, it was evident that in addition to Pitzel, Holmes had also killed 3 of the Pitzel children. During the proceedings, Holmes confessed to 27 murders. However, Holmes was a consummate liar, a bigamist, and a con artist. Plausibility points to him killing 9 people. Whatever the body count, Holmes was convicted and hanged in 1896. In 1895, while Holmes sat in jail, the castle mysteriously caught fire and was gutted. There are a couple of theories as to who set it alight. Locals, sick of all the curiosity seekers making pilgrimages to the area, revenge by a family member who suspected Holmes of killing a loved one, etc., etc. After the fire, the building was refurbished and used for a while before falling into disrepair. In the 1930s, the U.S. government bought the property and tore it down. In 1938, a U.S. post office was built on the site. The post office shares part of its foundation with the original basement space of the castle. There's an old, narrow tunnel accessible from the post office's basement, which leads to a part of what used to be the murder castle's basement. The tunnel, believed to have been part of an escape route made by H.H. Holmes. There are rumors of the property being haunted or cursed. A few people associated with the Holmes investigation or case died suddenly, mysteriously, or tragically. Only once has the US government allowed a ghost hunting crew from the History Channel to explore under the post office. Since then, they've denied all other requests. If you like this video, then we've got 2 more great episodes of the Infographics show that we picked out just for you. So click on the one over here or over here. We'll leave the final decision to you, but you have to pick now before it's too late.